Okay, geometry, for our e-learning lesson today, I'm just going to walk you through how to do a couple of problems on this 7.1 worksheet. The first problem we're going to do is the first batch of problems is asking you to find the measure of each interior angle in this polygon right here. And in order to do that, we're going to need a formula that I believe you guys got yesterday. I'm pretty sure second hour and 4-5, you guys got this in your notes. 9-10, I don't think you did. So the formula we need here is S with a little I after that. That means the sum of your interior angles is going to be equal to 180 degrees times the quantity of n minus 2, and n always represents the number of sides in your polygon right there. So that's something that we're going to be using a lot throughout the second semester. So in this problem here, we can take a look at what kind of polygon it is that we're dealing with. And very quickly, if we count it up, we see 4 sides right here. This is a quadrilateral. So the sum of our interior angles in any quadrilateral is going to be 180 times, well, since n is the number of sides and this figure has 4 sides, we put a 4 in there for n and a minus 2 at the end of all that. And you can put all that into your calculator at once, or you could do it manually. The 4 minus 2 is 2. And when we multiply the 180 times 2, we're going to get 360 degrees for the sum of all of your interior angles. So that gives you the sum of the 4 angles in total, but now what we're going to do is use that fact and the measures of the 4 angles that they gave us here in terms of x to set up an equation and then solve for x. So once more, what we have found is the sum of all of the interior angles, and sum means add them together. So our first angle here, A, is 9x plus 3. And we'll add to that angle B, which is 12x plus 6, plus angle, that's odd, they jumped to C across. That doesn't matter what order you do this in, guys, so I'm going to keep going clockwise here. Angle D is 6x, and then our fourth angle, C, is 8x plus 1. And when I add those 4 angles together, that sum has to equal the number that I came up with right here, which is 360. Now, when you guys look at some future problems right here, those are probably not going to have quadrilaterals there, so this 360 is probably going to be a different number for each problem you do in the future. But for now, this is where it's at. So let's solve this equation, guys. Combining like terms, 9x, 12x, 6x, and 8x. Let's see, that's a 21 and a 14, so I believe that's going to make a 35x there. And then combining like terms, we've got a 3 and a 6, that makes 9, plus another 1 is 10. So a 35x plus 10 is going to equal 360 degrees. We'll subtract that 10 from both sides. I see where this is going now. And we're going to get a 35x is equal to 350. And then we'll just divide both sides by 35. And that works out nicely. We're going to get x is equal to 10. Now, in a lot of problems, that's where you would stop. If the directions said solve for x, we'd be good to go. But going back and reading my directions again, it says to find the measure of each interior angle. So now we're going to take this value, where x is 10, and plug it into each of the 4 angles there. So angle A is 9x plus 3, and this is pretty easy to do in your head. 9 times 10 is 90 plus 3, so we would say that the measure of angle A was 93 degrees. B would be 12x plus 6, so 12 times 10 is 120, and plus 6, angle B is 126 degrees. Angle D here, 6x, well, 6 times 10 is going to be 60 degrees. And lastly, angle C here, 8 times 10 is 80, plus 1, that's 81 degrees. So those 4 answers there all together are the answer of what this question was looking for. Find the measure of each interior angle, and there we go. So that is how you do a problem like number 1, and I believe that's going to take you through 2 and 3 and 4 as well. Now, I also want to work out with you problems 14, 15, and 16. I'll do number 14 here, guys. And you'd normally expect that as you go further in a worksheet, the problems are going to get harder. But actually, once you get here, these problems get significantly easier than the one that we just did. The hard part about problem number 1 was all of this work right over here, where you had to eventually figure out what the sum of your interior angles was. And as I said, that'll be different on every problem that you do depending on the number of sides here. But it gets much easier when we are now dealing with exterior angles. If you notice, all 4 of these angles here in this figure are outside of the figure. So what we need now is a formula for the sum of the exterior angles in any polygon. And it's not even really a formula, guys. It's simply a set constant value. The sum of the exterior angles in any polygon is always going to be 360 degrees. It does not matter how many sides the polygon has. It could have 3 or 4 or 12 or 197 sides. The sum of your exterior angles will always be 360 degrees. So, I'm now going to take my 4 exterior angles here and add them all together. So I can start anywhere I want here. I'm going to go with a 4x plus 15 to begin, and I'll add to that a 3x plus 8. That's second exterior angle. The third is 5x plus 1. And we'll add that to the 4th exterior angle, which is 96. And again, the sum of your exterior angles in any polygon, regardless of how many there are, is always going to be 360. So don't be fooled here, guys. Back to the interior angle problem. This sum here was a 360, but that's only because of the work that I did here. This number will change from problem to problem when you're dealing with interior angles. But when we're dealing with exterior angles, this number is always going to remain 360 degrees. Okay, let's solve that equation that we set up now, guys. 4x and 3x makes 7x, plus another 5x is going to be a 12x. And how about our constants? 15 plus 8 is 23, plus 1 is 24, and adding that to 96 should get us 120. All that is equal to 360. I'm going to subtract the 120 from both sides, and this should work out pretty nicely. That'll get us a 240 degree value on the right, and then we'll divide by 12 here, and we should end up with x is equal to 20. And unlike the last problem, my directions now simply say find the value of x in each diagram, so we are done with this problem, and x is equal to 20. So that is how you handle problems 14, 15, and 16. That should be much easier than what you had to do for the first 4. All right, guys, so that's how you knock out these 7 problems, so give those a try. Oh, by the way, I've done 2 of them for you already. You're welcome. So anyway, go ahead and get that done, and then take a picture of your work and submit that on Classroom before 2 o'clock today, and you guys will be all set for the day. Thanks, everybody, and good luck.